This is one of the reasons why you don't want to oversaturate the brows of your clients. And this is also one of the reasons why you should pay a very big attention to the ingredient list, and you should understand the pigments. This is why I basically have the biggest anxiety in permanent makeup, because yes, some of the clients, they came to see me and they were somewhere else and they want me to do their brows. But the problem is, if I don't know what kind of pigment is in the skin, and the problem is also that sometimes I don't even know how to remove the pigment, because like clients always want to have their beautiful saturated color and they don't want to use makeup anymore. But it's the problem, because in my opinion, based on my experience, all of my clients where I did saturated eyebrows for them in the past, where I knew nothing regarding pigmentology, they always came back with the gray brows. Almost always. Like when I used very strong pigments with a lot of organic but also a lot of carbon, very dark colors, that was the problem. Because then you have to use laser, you have to remove it somehow, and then you are removing the brows for months and months and months, and clients, they don't want to come to you for like a laser removal 10 times in a row, which takes like 1 year, 1.5 years, and then when you finally remove the brows, the skin is a little bit tired, and then you have to also, maybe some of the skin can have a better quality, but in general you need around 3 to 6 months after the laser, after all the removal process, you have to leave the skin, and you need time for the skin to renew itself, recover, then you can do brows. And imagine, you do beautiful brows for your client, and then after 1.5 years, she comes to your studio and she asks for a color boost. But her brows are grayish, and if these brows are saturated, then you are like, okay, I'm going to use maybe orange corrector, okay? That's what I see a lot on Instagram. But if you use orange corrector on the gray eyebrows and saturated eyebrows especially, it's not going to work for a long time. So your client comes in a few months to your studio and she's saying, oh, my brows are gray again. And then you are like, but I don't know what to do. Then you will start to remove the brows, and then you will be removing the brows for a long time. Because if you use strong pigments, and if you oversaturate the brows, then it's always a problem. But what I see the biggest problem is that a lot of PMU artists, I know that they don't really know and they don't really have the right knowledge, but we should educate our clients and we should explain what can happen. Because my clients, at the moment, when they come to see me and they ask me for the beautiful brows, strong brows, which will stay for years, I explain that it's not possible. Or it can be possible, but after 1.5 years they will have gray eyebrows. And it doesn't matter if I will be in the right depth, and it doesn't matter if I will use a right brown color. But what is the problem is a physics, it's a UV light, it's the sun, and they will not take care of the brows, they will not use sunscreen, they don't care. If you do not explain to them what is going on, they will not care. So, the main reason why I am showing you, and I'm not really proud of it, I'm showing you my old clients' brows, is that this is a pure example of what you don't want to see on your client's eyebrows after some years. Now, we will remove the brows for 2, 3 or 4 times, which will take minimum 6 months. Then we need another few months for the brows to recover, and then we can do new brows maybe in 9 months from now, 6 to 9 months. We will see. But clients are not happy because when they come to see you, they are expecting a color boost because you tell them you should come after 1 year or 1 year and a half for a color boost, and they come and they have gray eyebrows, and then you are like, and what now? This is the reason why I love pigments. Not only clean it up pigments. Yes, I love clean it up pigments, but mainly pigments where you have organic, also inorganic pigments, where the formulation is done in a way where you see softer and softer result after few months. For me, the best is when your brows lasts around 1 year, 1 year and a half, so 12 to 18 months. And then when your client comes for a color boost, you should have almost minimum half of the color gone from the brows. But here in my client, you could see on my client that she had very saturated brows. And I am not really proud of it, but it also happened so many times that clients came to see me and they asked me to do their brows, and they were like, oh, I don't have, almost, like, my brows are almost gone. And they came and they had gray eyebrows, and I was like, how they can tell me that their brows are almost gone when they are so saturated and so strong? I don't know, I feel like they don't understand how the brows should look at the moment, and they don't know the consequences. That's the biggest problem. And if your client does not know the consequences, it's okay. But if you don't know the consequences, that's the problem. And this is why I have, from time to time, I have some thoughts to stop doing permanent makeup, because for me the biggest anxiety is when I see some clients, they come to my studio, they want new brows, I try to explain, but they just don't want to absolve the laser removal, and they are like, but I don't want it, I want the new brows. And I'm like, okay, but there is nothing to do from my point of view, because I cannot put new color on your old color, because there will be no effect after it heals. They also don't know that the epidermis, when the epidermis renew itself, the color will be gone and there will be nothing in the dermis, because dermis will be already full of the old color. So please, make sure that you understand what kind of ingredient list you have on the pigments you are using, and make sure that you know how to choose the color for your client. Make sure that you do not oversaturate the brows, because then, trust me, it's a lot of pressure on yourself, because it is also a lot of pressure on me when I see my clients and they come to see me every few years, or 1 year and a half, 2 years, and their brows are just gray and there is nothing I can do. And I know if I would use orange corrector on the saturated brows, there will be no effect after a few weeks. And I want my clients to be happy. There is a huge competition. People can go everywhere. So you should be really high quality PMU artist, so you have your clients and basically you have a successful business. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will learn a lot from this video, and I hope you will understand my point of view. Bye!